It's a British domination. Oh, Silverstone, British Grand Prix, round 12, qualifying, and it's a British domination at the British Grand Prix. Never saw this one coming. Going to jump straight into it. Q3, and the Mercedes are on the front row of the grid. They definitely like the cooler conditions. We've seen that before. They came to the front in Canada and that really helps them. Will they get the same conditions Sunday? And they absolutely do need them to stay in that position. I think they'll struggle. I still think Lando Norris is in the box seat here really. I think he's the one to take the win. He'll line up in third place, but wow. I did not see a Mercedes 1-2 coming. It's been an absolute age. George Russell leads Lewis Hamilton again by a 10th. What a final sector from George Russell to pull that off and take pole at his home race. I was so shocked because I thought it's definitely going to be a McLaren pole. It wasn't to be, was it? The two Mercedes flying. 1-2, brilliant job. I mean, there's some star performers here this weekend in qualifying, but let's just go straight through and run through the top 10 for Q3 because that's where I've just started. Russell first, Hamilton second, Lando Norris in third. He made a mistake and didn't complete his last lap, so disappointing. He was a bit gutted. He apologised to the team on that one. It would have been close at the front. I'm not sure he could have beat George because he just sent the benchmark that much more further, but I think the front row was on for him. Max Verstappen disappointing in fourth place, and he had a scruffy session, didn't he? Much like his teammate, went right. Luckily he didn't beach it though and managed to continue in qualifying from Q1, but yeah, got floor damage and then really struggled. I think it didn't look significant, did it? It was just a small part of the floor. I mean, there probably was more damage underneath, but he was really struggling and the team was working on it between sessions, weren't they, to try and help him as much as they possibly could. I think they'll have fixed that part for the race tomorrow, so he'll be better, I'm sure, in race conditions. But starting in fourth behind Norris and the two Mercedes, so work for him to do tomorrow. Oscar Piastri in fifth place, decent qualifying for him. And I think one of the other stars for me, Nico Hülkenberg, beats the works Ferrari in his Haas, lines up in sixth place. A fantastic job for him. Looks like points should be on the card for him tomorrow. He'd be disappointed if he doesn't come home with a decent haul there. Carlos Sainz, the fastest Ferrari in P7. Yeah, they've gone off the boil a bit, lost their way, haven't they? And one point where it looked like Lewis Hamilton is going to jump into a star Ferrari next year, they've lost track and they don't really look like they're going anywhere fast, do they, in terms of finding their feet again? But much work to be done there. Eighth place, Lance Stroll, a much better performance this weekend from Aston Martin, and I think they, like the Mercedes, like these cooler conditions. They've both done well here. And another one, a brilliant performance from Alex Albon. P9, their best performance of the season at his home race, although he's tied, but it's still his home race. Home race for Williams, a fantastic P9 from him. Fernando Alonso, 10th place. I think he'll be disappointed. He's been beaten by a teammate again, which is somewhat of a change going on here, isn't it? We've not seen this from Alonso getting beaten by Stroll, but it's happened again. I think he'll be the other one disappointed there, but he'll be overall, I think, happy that the team's performed better and in the top 10 for qualifying. Let's jump to Q2. It was a dry track, wasn't it, now for this session? The bad performance, Charles Leclerc, 11th place out in Q2, massively disappointing. I think it was a really good performance from Logan Sargent, P12. Yes, he's been beaten by his teammate, but that's happened all the time. But a really good job from him. He was very happy with his lap, and so he should be. Yuki Tsunoda in 13th place, beats his teammate. Much better this weekend. Zhou Guanyu, I think it was a really good performance from him. Beats his teammate P14 into Q2. Tremendous job there. And Daniel Ricciardo in 15th place. The stars of their session, Lando Norris led the way from George Russell and Fernando Alonso. Alonso was third in that session and Alonso 9th. Hülkenberg 8th, and them two kept their run, didn't they, through into the final Q3 session. And the big one, Q1, well, we got the damp start, didn't we? Then a dry line coming, and the first to try it out, Sergio Perez, went onto the softs, dries, and made a mistake, beached the car out. starting 19th because Pierre Gasly didn't do a lap because he's going to start last anyway because he came into the qualifying session with penalties for engine changes. So yeah, another horrible qualifying session for Sergio Perez, and he's got much to do for tomorrow. He can only hope for some sort of crazy race with numerous safety cars to try and get into some decent points finishing from there, but he's struggled, hasn't he? And well, he can have that kind of race tomorrow, and if we get mixed conditions like we've had today for the race, anything's possible. But yeah, 20th place for Gasly, 19th for Sergio Perez, 18th for Ocon. He'll be disappointed. He's been beaten by his teammate. Gasly was really disappointed, angry, talking to his team, weren't he? Of like, he felt he only got one run, and that was in the wet conditions, not in the dry. I think he was unhappy with where they released the car into the pit lane for the start of that session. It was so far down. He probably should have went early and stacked up at the front. Kevin Magnussen, again disappointed, he's been massively beaten by his teammate, 11 places ahead of him. 17th place for Magnussen, and Bottas 16th place start for him. Yeah, a crazy qualifying session. We should have a good race tomorrow. Sergio Perez should be fighting through the field. It looks fantastically tight up at the front. I think any of them top four can win it. I wouldn't count Max Verstappen out just yet, although he's not favourite, which is strange saying that here, isn't he, for the race tomorrow, especially because injury lines up behind Norris. But he's been getting better starts than Norris, and once again, could we see him on the inside of Norris into turn one? I wouldn't bet against it. Them two will have a ding-dong battle. The Mercedes, Lewis Hamilton hasn't had the best of starts recently, and even when he started well, he's dropped down, so he'll be hoping to rectify that for the race tomorrow. And George Russell will be hoping just to keep it on the road, stay ahead of the rest, and see and hope that Lewis can be his buffer against the guys behind. But it's harder here to be a buffer, isn't it? Because there's plenty of overtaking opportunities, and so if you're not fast, you will get picked off. I think it's set for a cracking race. The surprise here is Mercedes, but can they carry that through into the race? I don't think they're all fast enough over race conditions to Norris, so it'll be, yeah, brilliant fight for tomorrow. The 3-bit Brits dominate qualifying. They could dominate the race, and could we see 3 on the top step? Yeah, I'm not counting Verstappen out yet. He's on for it as well. So all start again. It looks set for a cracking race. It always is in Silverstone. But thanks for watching. Please like, subscribe, and comment as always. And I'll see you for the race review tomorrow. Should be absolutely brilliant. See you then.